Indicate your full name and surnames, city of birth, age, the economic semester you're studying. If you're currently working, indicate the entity and the position you hold.
My name is Andres Felipe Pico Perez. I was born in Bogota 20th of July of 1996. Right now I'm 24 years old and I'm studying the 7th semester of economics in Universidad Militar Nueva Granada. I'm going to start my internship in the Ministry of Finance, and my job is going to manipulate data and think and write about long-term and medium-term studies for Colombian economy.
How do you understand the scope and social projection of the profession of economist in solving socioeconomic problems worldwide?
The profession of economist has a great scope in solving socioeconomic problems worldwide. Economists not only prepare themselves to understand and contextualize problems anthropologically and historically, but they also arm themselves with quantitative tools for solving these problems. Thus, economists have the obligation to understand the current situation of a society or a country in order to formulate policies aimed at eliminating these problems, such as poverty, hunger, infant mortality, inequality, among a lot others. With the numbers, you can verify the percentage of compliance with the policies and also verify if they have worked. Likewise, the improvement of these social problems is expected while increasing social welfare and employment rates, for example, and this expands throughout the world, obviously.
Know about the United Nations organization UN worldwide and in Colombia.
It is known after 1942, during the Second World War, 26 nations gathered together against the fascist power and signed the United Nations Declaration. After that, in 1944, the objectives and structure of the organizations were agreed. Finally, in 1945, after the Yalta and San Francisco Conference, it was determined and established the organization, and a letter was written and signed by all the present countries in the conference. This is how the United Nations organization was created and consolidated. Currently, it is made up of 193 countries, and its responsibility is to maintain peace and security, protect territories, defend human rights, deliver humanitarian aid, promote sustainable economic development, and fight against climate change. In Colombia, for example, they participate with UNICEF, with UNDP, the United Nations Program for Development, and the United Nations High Conference Commissioner for Refugees, among many others. Likewise, Colombia received financial, logistical, and academical support with the World Bank, that is an entity created to fight poverty in the world.
What do you think would be your greatest contribution to the organization?
I can contribute my knowledge to the organization in economics, as well as the experience of having lived in developing countries such as Colombia and Argentina. I know closely to the social problems of both countries and can contribute with my knowledge for the drafting and creation of public policies aiming at solving these problems. I have a great capacity for teamwork, as well as a great facility in handling mathematics, statistics, and different programming tools. At the moment, I speak English, Spanish, and I'm practicing Portuguese. Similarly, I studied economics for the solution of social difficulties, so my approach is clearly socially supported by a strong quantitative component.
What does it mean to be an economist?
Being an economist means being a philosopher, mathematician, anthropologist, historian, statesman, lawyer, and sociologist, since knowledge of all these branches is needed for proper performance in the profession. When the tools of all these different professions are taken and adapted, a better job can be done, clearly focused on solving social problems, which I consider is the ultimate goal of economics.
What is your greatest wish as an economist?
My greatest desire as an economist is to serve my country, but doing it from within. This is from the institutions that are in charge of the social and economical problems in the country. In this case, we can mention ministries and multilateral organizations such as the United Nations. Change and goals are achieved by modifying and changing laws and rules that do not work. This is why our generation must be very prepared to face the great and difficult task of directing and managing the institutions within the country. The objective is not to be a great political or public figure, but rather to be an active actor in the economic and social organization of these countries.